I ran into this week. I want everybody to, well, yeah, I want y'all opinions on it. I'm gonna give mine. This podcast is gonna be called All Feelings, No Facts. So everything I talk about today, it will not have any factual evidence to it, but this is how I feel about the situations. So yeah, we're gonna start off with I had my birthday last Sunday, last Monday. And every year for my birthday, man, the beauty about Hattiesburg and about USM is they bring the DCI competition, Drum Corps International. They bring it here. Well, I don't even want to say. I think what they do here is more so along the lines of an exhibition. But they bring it here, man. And, I grew up a band nerd, if you can say. Out of my friend group, I was, the band nerd. But I had friends in band too, so I had like two separate friend groups, but they eventually kind of melted together. But so I was a big band nerd, and the beauty about my high school was we marched corps style. So like I always say, I'm a musician, so a lot of my topics will be based around music stuff. So if you're not a musician, this may be a little a little foreign to you, but this is it's super dope. But so core style is more along the lines of the black people will say, the black people in the hood will say, it's white people. You march like white people because we're not playing the what does JSU play all the time? Get ready, here I come, or any of those things. We're not playing that. We're actually playing very technical music, not groove based music, but more technical stuff. So I marched core, but well, I didn't march in high school. I was fortunate enough to play bass guitar on the pit, but I played trumpet in like wind ensemble or whatever. And then and then from there, I got to college and I didn't march anymore. But I always stayed in love with drum corps because my high school band, I think we modeled. I don't know for sure what I'm. This, like I said, our feelings, no facts. But I think we modeled ourselves after a drum corps called Blue Devils. I think they're from Concord, California. I think I may be wrong, but the Blue Devils is like the creme de la creme to me of drum corps. I know all the true drum corps heads. They watch this and they go, yeah, he dick riding. Well, yeah, they cold. But I went to the competition and it was good as always. It's great, man. Like just to see how far drum corps have came from when I went. I went to a competition in Murfreesboro when I was in high school. So this had to be like '05, '06 to see where it came from '05 to 2023 with all the sound designs and the like sound designs and like the automations of stuff and like the way that stuff is running, man, it is beautiful. Like every core is killing. Shoot, I didn't see one. Well, the show wasn't bad, but it just wasn't entertaining to me. I forgot who it was, but it wasn't entertaining. Which core that was, I won't even mention that because I don't want to get caught in that. But like the Cavaliers, they didn't actually do their marching. They just did the standstill show, but they were killing. Uh, Madison Scouts, they were killing as always. Every core, man, every core, and the Blue Devils were. I think they just light years ahead of everyone who does drum corps, man. And it's like they've been swinging, so they do swing stuff like jazz. So when I say swing, I'm referring to jazz. They've been doing that forever, but it's so authentic when you hear them do it. It's like authentic and it's very much real jazz when I hear it, like the way they playing. Because a lot of people say, man, yeah, I played in jazz band in school, and then you ask them to play a Shining Stockings or a Kids Are Pretty People or just standard tunes, or you get them to play Autumn Leaves or something. It's like they're playing like that, or you get them to play Blue Bossa and then bam, 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 boom. But it's like, dude, where the feeling in this? Like, make it beautiful, make it pretty. Like, anyway. But the Blue Devils are authentic when they do this. So I just think, man, it's like their uniforms are always like different. And this year, I guess it was some big word colors was the theme of the show. I don't remember it because when they said it, I was like, I don't even know what that means, so I'm not even gonna try to remember. But like the way they had stuff going and just the pit, the drum dude who's playing drum set on the pit was fucking blazing. The guitar player was blazing. That's just light years ahead of everybody. And so I want to big up everybody in the drum corps field. And if you're out there, if you're a former member, I know a lot of former members like my dude Gunner, Nick Mann, I think marched on the drum line. I think Jordan Swindle marched. Dr. Wooten marched. The percussion professor at USM, Southern Mississippi. So I know a lot of people who've marched. So I want to big up y'all before I get into what I'm about to say. My crutch with DCI is I don't want to say people of color because there's a lot of people of color out there. I see, there's a lot of Latinos, Hispanics, that march. But as far as African Americans, you don't see many out there. And I don't think it's intentional. So I don't think this is intentional racism or nothing. Because I know my guy, Jalen Sweat, man. What's up with your Sweat if you watch this or if somebody show you this? What's up with you, dude? I know he marched the Louisiana Stars. They based out of somewhere close to where we at in Hattiesburg. I forget where. And I think Gunner is like a percussion instructor out there or somewhere. He may not be anymore, but I know he was at one time. So I know some black people who have. So I won't never say it's intentional that black people don't march DCI. So that's not the thing. I don't think it's intentional racism or anything like that. It perturbs me because I just wonder why aren't we as interested in drum corps as we are HBCU style marching band or whatever. Because I grew up, my high school band was pretty damn good. Grenada High School band, we were pretty damn good. We were like 5A when I was there, so we were like the top of the state as far as a class division. We were large, we were probably 250, 300 people. Large band, but we were really good. We probably sound better than some colleges now that I think about it. And like I said, we mimicked the Blue Devils. But my school was like, now I think about it, it was a good mixture of black and white. So the band was like, it was a lot of black people in the band. The drumline was mostly black. Now that I think about it, drumline was mostly black. The pit, while I was in there, was mostly black. And I knew some killers, like this dude named, what's my guy name? Cortez Baggett. He was a killer. He played snare, but like a killer. He could have marched drum corps. Or like DeMarcus Robinson. This was like the dude I looked up to, like one of my mentors. I think he could have marched drum corps. Or Marcus Smith. Or, these are just people that I grew up with that I think could have marched it. Or like one of my best friends, Quail Booker, real rest his soul. I think he could have marched it if he would have tried out for it, right? But I just don't see as many black people out there. Say a drum corps has 150 people out there. It's probably like 5 to 10 black people out of 150. So that's a very low percentage of people out there. Now, I was doing some research and I was just trying to figure out like what could be the cause. Why wouldn't we be as involved? I'm guessing the pricing of it is a little high. It's basically the cost of a semester of college, man. Like some websites were like it's about 2,200 to 25. Then I seen some on the high end of like 5,000, $5,500. So I can get that reason, but that's still not a because there's always ways around it. You can do crowdfunding, fundraisers. There's always ways to come up with that money. You can get loans and stuff, but again, in the black community, everyone's credit isn't where it needs to be to get these loans, right? But I've looked at the pricing. I was like, I don't know. The pricing could be a reason that we don't go. But then I looked at another, I looked up some Reddit stuff, some Reddit debates, and a guy was saying that they just aren't in cities or near places where black people are very prevalent. So cities like or states like Mississippi or like Chicago but I think it's I don't know how far is it Roseman or Rockwood? I forgot. But I don't know how far that is from Chicago, but I'm sure you could get there. So I was like, is that an excuse? I really want to sit down and talk to someone who's heavily involved in DCI to get what could be the reason that black people aren't as involved, because I'm sure I'm not the only black person that's in love with DCI. I can't be. I know Jalen Sweat is infatuated with DCI. This man, you can chill with him. If you pull out a drum pad and some drumsticks, he is going to chop your head off. And you can be in the middle of a barbecue. You can be chilling, drinking, everybody having fun. He ain't going to drink, he a little saved. Praise God. But he will chop your head off the whole time and won't stop playing. But and I love that though, because that's a passion. One of my friends that I was in a band with, Josh Reynolds. When I first met him, he was in love with DCI. And I'm sure he still loves DCI. Like the drummer I play with at the church I play for, we talked about DCI today because we were talking. Well, not today. When I went, he was asking me like, "Man, where you go?" Because I left rehearsal to go. So I know black people that's interested, but I just don't know why we aren't as involved. And like I said before, I don't think it's intentional racism. I'm not saying that. It's just, it has to be something. And I wish we were there more. Because HBCU is cool. It's cool, man. It's cool to, I love the traditional marching style that they do and all that stuff. And the drums sound like drum sets. And, but the wind instruments kind of, they perturb me a little bit because they play so hard and so loud that they play out of tune. And sometimes, and that don't sit well with my spirit. That don't sit well at all. Not at all. And it's a beautiful art form that is. It's beautiful and it has its place. But the technicality that is required to do DCI stuff, and like, you have to be in good shape, at least good relative shape, because it's fast tempos. There's a lot of moving at fast speeds out there, man, turning on the dime. It's basically a sport. It's a sport. So and I know how much black people love sports. Like, we love sports. You can't get us away from a good sport. So I don't know why we aren't involved. Could it be money? I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I would have took trumpet serious enough and like really went hard on it, and I convinced my mom and dad, like, man, when I graduate high school, I want to go march DCI. They would have paid my $2,000 for me to go. They would have found a way to pay $2,000 for me to go. And I'm sure it's more. It's more black people like that. Now, I could be wrong, but just off of what I seen last Wednesday, which was July 26th, as of July 26th, I did not see a large population of black people or a large percentage of black people within these cores. And it's just amazing to me to see that we aren't as involved when I know we're just as capable, we're just as good. Uh, I could, if it was a base spot open when I was in coming out of high school, I could have went straight from high school and played bass on a core. That's how confident I am in my ability to do it. Or like if I didn't go straight out by my third or fourth year in college, I could have went and did that. Uh, um, but it's like, and then another thing is you don't see as many black people even in the teaching positions as like the person who's the instructor or instructor's assistant, or you don't see me. I don't want to say because it's people of color is prevalent out there. It's prevalent. They're prevalent in the drum corps. So I want to separate it and distinguish that it's black people that I'm talking about. It's only black people, but you don't see as many black people involved in those positions. Or I don't know. It's weird, man. It's just weird. Or the judges. I don't know, man. And I'm sure it's some killer guys out here. I've seen some guys that Dr. Woon plays with in PASIC. He does his PASIC is it's basically like a conference for percussion. And he does like this thing where it's like maybe five drummers, and they're five marching drummers, and they're playing like snares. I think that's it, snares. And they're playing. Sometimes they're playing the tracks and stuff, but it's like 3-4 black guys in that. And I just wonder, have they ever been offered a position to be an instructor? They may have been an instructor. I didn't, like I said, this is all feelings, no facts. So I don't know. They could have been an instructor or offered a position. But it's just, I try to go every year when I see that. But every year to the competition here in Hattiesburg, and I don't see many black people. And on the field. Now in the stands, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm like, whoa, this is super cool. I don't feel odd in those situations. I feel like, man, I'm in a place where I belong because, we all enjoying this same product, which is a great product. So whoever sees this, please don't take that I'm screaming racism. I'm not. I want that to be clear. I'm not screaming racism is involved. But I just would love to see more black high school kids, black college kids. Sure, you can't march while you're in high school, but more black kids coming out of high school, involved. Would love to see that. If it's a way we could, I would be. I don't have a ton of money, but I would be interested in donating to help a black child march, or helping setting up a fundraiser, or using this platform for a kid to gain money on his fundraiser or whatever, however, get donations, whatever. I would be interested in that, man. To do more than one kid. Let's take the best kids of this area, man. And send them out there. Or the best kids at best black kid at USM, if his dream is to march and he don't have his funds are the reason why. Let's find a way. Like, do DCI not offer something like a grant or something? Like, if you are exceptional, we'll give you a grant and you can march or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs, and that could be a problem. If you watching this, you're a DCI fan, that could definitely be a problem. I can see that coming like, well, you don't know the ins and outs. Fuck that. Fuck what you talking about. I'm going off the fact that what it looks like to me. So if you do offer the shit, something is wrong. So if they do offer a grant for shit like that, something is wrong. And it doesn't make sense. It's not adding up. So if you offer funding or you help the kids get a fundraiser or crowdfunding, whatever, or Or you fucking, like, do you reach out? Like, I don't know. Do you recruit? I'm sure they don't recruit. Well, yeah, I'm sure they recruit. Because those motherfuckers be so good, man. They be so good. Like, their musicality is on a different level to me. I don't know. I'm gonna reach out to my friend Gunnar Val, man. I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast so we can dive a little deeper in this because it really blows my mind the fact that we aren't as involved. And Gunnar is such a down to earth dude, and like he'll just tell it straight up, like what it is. But he may have ties where he can't say what it is. I don't know. I hope he can give it up straight up and down. But that's something that intrigues me, man. I hope the DCI world is not excluding black people. And I hope I'm right that there's no racism involved. I pray that's the case. I pray that's the case. I pray. Because that would be weird, man. Why y'all being weird? Why you being weird, man? It's black people that can do that shit. You know it's black people that can do that shit because you let one or two or maybe five in to do it. You let them in to do that. So, and I know it's super inclusive. I know, man, now we're scratching the surface. We getting a little further in the surface now. Because I know DCI is inclusive because for the longest, the LGBTQ plus community has been very included in that. It's been very included. A lot of color guard males. I grew up, I didn't see color in high school. I didn't see males in color guard. You were either playing a fucking instrument or you a fucking drum major. You wasn't in no color guard. You wasn't throwing no rifle. You wasn't fucking waving no flag or you wasn't dancing and all that shit. You were playing a instrument. But I went to Murfreesboro and that was the first time I seen a male. So it's 2005, 2006. I seen a male, multiple males. And then one of one of the teachers in my band marched, I think color guard. Mr. Hassau. Mr. Kent Hassau, who was a French horn teacher at Grenada High School. I think he left and went to South Haven. But I think he marched color guard in a drum corps. I may be wrong though. I'm not sure. Again, this is all feelings, no facts. But DCI is the top of the line to me. I love it. Blue Devils is my favorite. Madison Scouts one of my favorite. Blue Coats, they have won me over. It was a band last year, Mandarins. Oh my God, the Mandarins, dude. They were amazing. They didn't come this year, I don't think. But yeah, man. Cavalier is good too. But I really like the Scouts. I bought a Madison Scouts DVD when I was in high school, and when they did Jesus Christ Superstar, and they made the big cross into the star and all this stuff. Oh, dude, killer show. I forget which year that is, but for you DCI heads who watching this, because I'm gonna make this a segment, and I'm gonna post this separately for you guys who know about this. You know what I'm talking about, and that show was killing, man. That show was killing. But yeah, man, DCI. Let's help black people, man. If we can, let's get some black people out there. Let's get about 20. We got about 5 to 10 out there now. Let's get about 20, 25. We're going to put some swag on the show. You know what I'm saying? That's what, you're already killing. Once you get a little swag in there, you get a little, Once you get that in there, it's over with. Oh, going up. You going up now. What you got to deal with is, you may have to deal with a little hood in the stands, some hood people. That's my baby. Woo, woo, woo. You may have to deal with that. That's what come with it. I'm sorry. That's what come with us. But it's all good.